land of the free, the home of the brave. Folks, that flag is waving because of the breeze. The question is whether this is the home of the free and the land of the brave. If we don't make sure that we do the right thing, as George said, it could be in the military, but if we don't come together as a country, settle our differences, and make sure we recognize the adversaries in Russia, the adversaries in China, the adversaries in Iran, the adversaries in so many groups that are jealous of what we have in this country and want to take it from us, we're making a huge mistake. We are the greatest country in the history of the world because of our capitalist system, our economy, because of our democracy, our republic. We are the greatest country in the history of the world, and we will only maintain that because greater men and women than us are willing to risk everything so that we preserve those freedoms. God bless you, God bless America, and thank you for this day.
Thank you, Colonel Brockler, for your inspirational message and the heartfelt thanks you expressed on behalf of all of us to our fallen heroes. Thank you. Those of you who have attended this ceremony in the past know it is our tradition to read the names of all the veterans buried in the Parker Cemetery. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as you are able while the names of our 132 veterans laid to rest in this wonderfully beautiful setting within sight of the Rocky Mountains are read. If able, please remain standing until all the names have been announced.
So I think we're going to have a group of readers. I'm honored to read the first 10. Richard Bonsari, George Bass, George Berschneider, Elwood Burns, Gerald Burris, George Burton, Dewey Campbell, James Campbell, Oscar Carlson, William Carson, Donald Christensen, Louis Christensen. May God bless.
Harvey Chubb, George Clark, Joseph, forgive me, Kudute Jr., Tom Collins, Harold Cora, Bruce Dixon, Lester Dixon, Martin Drummond, Norman Bernal, Jimmy Ecker, Donald Ecker, Jack Elliott. Clifford Fagan, William Farrell, Raymond Fedek, Eugene Fisher, John Fleming, David Forlenza, Michael Gates, Lloyd Glazier, Clifford Graham, Richard Griffith, Fritz Harst, and Lori Hazen.
James Hazen, Roland Henley, Elmer Hermerson, Louis Hernandez, John Higgins, Harold Higgins, Jack Holt, William Hooker, Courtney Hurst, Darrell Huss, James Jackson, Frederick Jackson.
Colonel Herbert Jordan, Jeffrey Jungen, James Kaufman, James Kellogg, Danny Kenyon, Frank Kime, Wayne Kingery, Thomas Klusritz, Andrew Cortezil, Louis Kurt, Warren Lee, James Luger.
William Maddock, Gerald McCabe, Aquila McComas, Jack McCoy, William McGovern, Norman McQueen, Harold Meldenstein, Frank Montgomery, Eddie Muma, Harry Moore, Charles Morris, John Matzenbacher.
Claire Moyle, Thomas Murphy, Albert Murray, Glenn Nash, Kenneth Newberg, Thomas O'Barr, Marshall Osborne, George Parker, James Parker, Vernon Parker, Robert Harple, Gregory Patterson.
Steve Patterson, Kenneth Poor, Denver Hope, Calvin Quick, John Ryder, Lloyd Reynolds, Lloyd Richardson, Edward Robinson, Robert Rowley, August Ruder, Louis Ruggles, Philip Ruggles.
Hilbert Shower, Francis Schuster, Abraham Seaton, Louis Seaport, Herbert Settler Jr., David Shaughnessy, George Seibert, Earl Sleason, F. Sleevey, Russell Smith, Robert Smith, and Royce.
Reverend Robert Stanberry, Rodman Stewart, Ralph Stone, John Tallman, Jonathan Tallman, Harry Turbest, Robert Toby, John Turnier, Francis Red Vandevet, William Vigers, William Bowman, Kenneth Watkins.
Leonard Waldine, Clarence Waldine, Roy Walling, Stephen Welch, Gene Wells, Harley White, Harold Wilhelm, Eugene Wilhelm, Rex Winchell, Raymond Woodbury, Arthur Worrell, and Theodore Ziegler.
Steve, I'm going to step in for just a second because I can. Is there anybody out here related to any of those names or knew any of those names? Put your hand up. Oh my gosh. Look at that. When you think about small town America, Parker's growing, but still small town America, and 140 some odd names are read here today. Each one of them was a brother, a son, a father, an uncle, and they're not just names. They mean something. Those people put their hands up. It should mean something to all of us. So thank you for letting us read that, Steve. I hope it meant a lot to you as it did, as it should, to all of us. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, be seated. Thank you, General. That's the first time that's ever been mentioned. And that's very moving. Thank you. Here to do the volley of fire taps and present the folding of the United States flag is the Fort Carson Honor Guard led by First Lieutenant Ramirez and Staff Sergeant Flynn from 4th Squadron, 10th Cavalry Regiment. The flag will then be presented to Major General Iyer and Veteran Coast Guard Ray Ann Brown.
When veterans are interred, their casket or urns are draped with the American flag, the flag under which they honorably served their country in times of peace and war. The honor guard will remove the flag from the stand in front of me and solemnly fold it in view of all who are attending the ceremony. As the last fold is tucked, the officer in charge of the detail includes the expended shell casings from the 21-gun salute to remain with that flag for eternity. The senior officer present solemnly receives that flag from the officer and presents the flag to the veteran's family. The flag is a visible token of thank you from a grateful nation. And I've done this numerous times, and there's a script of words that we say when we present the flag to the family. And there's times when it's a struggle to get through it, especially when you've got a kid sitting there, or mother, father. It's very touching. But these